Hi, I'm Nola. Welcome if you're new, and welcome back if you're not. Today we're going to be talking about self love, and self love is the hardest love, in my opinion, right? I'm still on my journey. I'm a lot better to where I was versus where I'm at now. And I don't know. I feel like when people talk about self love, they say it's this easy journey when it's far from that. It's so far from that, right? And loving yourself is such a hard thing to do, especially when you have voices in your head that say otherwise, or you internalize things that other people said about you, and now that's your own voice. And especially trying to find that drive to eventually wanting to love yourself. However, you don't know where to start, or you don't really know who to go to or anything, and it's hard, right? Like I said, it's not easy. Like, to me, loving somebody else versus loving myself, it's so much easier to love somebody else. But saying that, though, that's me now, to where I'm at the point to where I have enough love to give. But in my journey specifically, I didn't really have anyone, right? I had to learn it all by myself, right? And it wasn't easy. And quite frankly, sometimes I look back and ask, how did I even do that? Because self-love is such a big journey to do. Because when you don't love yourself, obviously it comes from a place of what people have said about you, self-image issues, which it's so many things when it comes to society, other people we know, and even things that we see that we may not know that we internalize, right? Like, for me, when I first started my self-love journey, I just didn't, when I looked in the person in the mirror, I didn't want to be disgusted, right? I wanted to love myself how, like, I feel like in ways I was never really loved, or like things that I saw that I have, other people were like, oh, I don't like this part about myself, and they like were family members or someone I thought, or someone that I was really close to at the time, and I wanted to be better. Like, I wanted to change myself for the better. And mainly from like high school, I think it was like junior and senior year. Mainly, yeah. Yeah. I was like, I think junior was kind of the start of it, but seniors when I really like buckled down, because that's when COVID was a thing and everything, so I kind of like had that time, right? To where, I wanted to respect myself and wanted to care for myself, because when I was younger, I was someone who kind of really, in my eyes, I was really like a bad people pleaser, right? It was bad. Like, when I said no to someone, I don't know, it was like this weird feeling of when I said no to somebody, they were gonna judge me, and like just this horrible feeling just like washed over me. And I didn't have boundaries. I kind of let people step over me, but I was tired of not having that self-respect for myself. And when I wanted to say no, I was gonna say no. And when I first started it, for people, we're gonna make mistakes. I feel I was really blunt when it came to like setting boundaries and stuff. But sometimes that's not bad. I guess it really depends on who you ask. But especially when I started it, I didn't really know where to start, so I started everywhere. Then it overwhelmed me. And wait a minute, my bird's trying to get treats real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry, I'm back. I forgot to put the treats away. That was Lady. She was being a little sneaker. But yeah. When I started my self-love journey, I didn't really know where to start. So I started everywhere, and like I said, in return, it like overwhelmed me because I wanted everything to be done. But now I focus on certain parts of myself, because eventually, once I like kind of narrowed it down, my mentality was the first thing that I fixed, or at least tried to get it tame, right? When I was younger, I would always say these certain phrases, and I also had dehumanizing jokes. No, self-deprecating jokes, that's the right word. And first, that's something I changed, right? I changed my mentality of how I see things. Like even now, if I specifically struggle with something, and I don't, I don't know if it's healthy or not, to be honest. But when I struggle with certain things, I kind of just keep it to myself. Like when it comes to my image and stuff, because I don't want people. Like if I struggle about something, I don't want people to think just because I struggle with it, I see a problem on there. And I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but certain things that I struggle with, I just keep it to myself, and I try to work on myself, because also too, I know when people express certain things about themselves, people have toxic positivity, like, oh, you're not like that, you're this, you're that, you're not that, which that's probably another video I'm gonna do, because that within itself is a video. But yeah, once I started to train my brain to not think how it thought, things got better, right? Even though, like, I still had hard times looking in the mirror and, like, my body and stuff, my mind was the first thing, because out of everything, my mind is me in my eyes. Like, my mind says things, my mind thinks things, my body doesn't do that, you know? Like, if I do that, nothing comes out. It doesn't have the perception like I do. Like, my brain controls everything, and that's my thought. So if I train my brain and take away all the negative that was sewed into my brain, that's already, like, such a big thing. And I feel like the brain is one of the biggest things to conquer, because it has so much power, and especially when it's coming within yourself, it's something that's so powerful. But once I, like, trained my brain and essentially, like, myself not to use certain words, or when I mess up, it's not like, oh, I'm an idiot because I messed up. It's like, oh, I messed up, it's a simple mistake, but we can always fix mistakes. Or how I view certain things, like if I mess up, I'm like, oh, it's just a mistake, that's okay. Or when I'm not feeling good, I'm like, even though feeling good doesn't feel good, you still have to feel something, and then once you feel that, don't let it consume you. Let it maybe help you for next time, or certain things. I try to use my experiences to better me. Like when it comes to certain emotions, when it comes to how I do things. Like when people say, oh man, I'm an a-hole, or no, not an a-hole. I did this, I can't believe I did that. Like, they're hard on themselves, and I feel like people forget they're not humans, and that's where it starts, like, those little things add up and make you hard on yourself. And, you know, sometimes being hard on yourself is good, but if it comes to the extent of you being essentially your own bully to yourself, that's when it's bad. And once I controlled that part of me, things seem to be so much easier. Well, they are easier, right? And eventually from there, I went to just seeing myself in my image and just respecting what I see, you know, looking at me and being like, okay, you aren't what people see you as, or all the people who were negative about you, you know, because one of the biggest things that helped me out too is when I put worth behind my words. Like when I say, oh, what I did was so cool today, it means so much to me because I put value and worth behind my words, and I stopped putting worth and value behind the words that didn't help me and just hurt me, right? And a lot of time too, when it comes to those things, people are just struggling themselves, which is by no means an excuse. Though, when you kind of realize that, they're just projecting, essentially. They're projecting. And that's how they see themselves, but they don't know how to handle it, so they give you that, right? So, once I had my mind down, I could look at myself without looking away, I could say. Also, something that helped too when it comes to that is just treating yourself like you're somebody else, instead of treating yourself as you, because 90% of the time, people who treat themselves or who see themselves in a light that isn't their own, they wouldn't treat people how they would treat themselves. So I feel like the thing too that helped was at times when I felt like I was bad on myself, I wouldn't treat me like me. I would treat myself as if I was a friend. I would never treat a friend and tell them the things that I used to say to myself. And that's how that helped me out. And eventually I just merged the two, like me seeing me not as myself and then me being myself. It's me, right? And also something too that helped was positive interactions, like high-fiving myself in the mirror or like giving me little compliments and things like that. It helped because when you give a high five, you don't give a high five like in a negative way. So it like humanizes you. And that's something that really helped. Okay, I drew a little diagram. I think it's called a diagram, right? You see, this is Steve. We're going to call him Steve. Steve, like everyone else in this world, has two things. Eyes and a brain, right? You see things with your eyes and you operate with your brain. If you train your brain... I had a brain fart. Ooh, excuse me. When you train your brain that what you see isn't bad, it like rewires you, and by no means is that something that's going to change overnight, because it's not. It took years and I'm still learning. But once you realize that the most two powerful things that you have, or maybe three, but you don't really use unless you talk to yourself, so maybe three, this and this, because this makes this speak and this makes you move, and this is what you see with. So once you see that your true beauty that you have, that you've just been so bonded by, it changes everything, right? It makes you more confident. And even if there's certain parts about you that you don't like, because there are still certain parts about me that I want to be better, you know, and it's all about wording too. There are parts about me that I want to be better. However, I still respect myself not to be hard on myself. Like, instead of, oh, well, I'm going to change this because it's so da-da-da-da-da, because I don't like how it looks. I just want to change it because if I change it, it's going to make me better. There's no negative context behind it. There's no nothing. You can still respect yourself, but want to change yourself or things about yourself. And, like, for my eating habits, for example, I wanted to eat better because my body has gotten me through so many bad situations and as well as good situations, and I'm here today. Like, I feel like people realize how hard it is to like live, you know, like your body every day has this whole system. It has to work, it has to do these things. And for me personally, I want to thank my body for getting me where I'm at now. You know, my body could have given out any day, but it's still working today, and I want to give my body the nourishment that it not only needs, but it deserves, because it's my body. Like, I want my body to be as healthy as I can make it with what I have. And that's something I'm kind of working on now when it comes to the self-love journey. Like, the mentality I have down, and I look at myself, I have that down too, but now it's more so just, I've kind of neglected the self-love journey in the sense of like body, right? In the sense of like just how I eat, because old habits die hard, right? I wasn't really like, my whole life I kind of really wasn't, I don't want to say taught what was good and what was bad, but with what I grew up with, it wasn't really healthy per se. Well, it wasn't. So now being an adult, I've taught myself what's good, what's not, and I'm understanding more about the body, so I can give it the appreciation that it deserves. Like, everybody's body deserves that, right? And you can show that in your own way, whether it be getting clothes you may not wear, or, you know, how I'm doing it, giving myself the nourishment that it deserves. Like, self-love when it comes to the body can show up in so many different ways, but the biggest way that it will show up is how you think about it. Because you can dress yourself up in Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Supreme, yada yada yada. You can dress yourself up in all of that, but if you don't think it looks good on you, it's simply like you're just simply gonna think it doesn't look good on you, right? And you can still think things don't look good on you, but there's a difference between like taste and you don't think it looks good on you because of your weight, right? Like, your body is beautiful regardless of how skinny you are, thick you are, big you are. It's beautiful. However, dressing yourself up and not believing it like, some people could say that's treating yourself or loving your body, which it is, but if you don't believe it, then really is it? You know, like, it's kind of like that hard in between, even though I still believe, and you know, this is just me talking, that you should still try to give your body the nourishment, the nourishment it needs, because your body deserves that and so do you, right? But however, like I said, people show it in their own ways, whether it be clothes, what I'm doing, working out, going to the gym, getting those muscles, or just simply just spending time with your body, and just, you know, self-care, you know, little makeup, little not makeup, little the scrubby scrub, whatever that's called. But yeah, there are many ways, and currently at the moment I feel like that's, well, actually maybe that's not the last thing, but those are one of the things that I'm working on now. And I would definitely recommend, like, you look more into it yourself, because, you know, this is just my journey, or the things I've been through. Everyone is different. I tried to work it the best I could because I know who I am. I don't really know who you are, so something I may do may not work for you, but that's completely okay, because we're all different and we're all human, so I don't expect that. But definitely journaling helped too, kind of just write my thoughts down. In poetry, I like poetry, so I kind of do that too. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I'm Nola. Handshake, I'm awkward, I'm sorry. It was nice meeting you if you're new, and I'm so glad you're back if you're not. I hope you have a great day, drink water, and love yourself. Bye. Actually, I lied. Wait a minute. I lied. I lied. The reason why, also too, it's hard to love yourself and not to love other people, is because people, to me, what I've seen, so take it with a grain of sea salt, if you will, or the world class violin. Anyways, people, why it's so hard to love yourself is because I feel like a lot of people don't put humanity behind themselves, right? And of course, what you go through definitely takes a factor. But when it comes to other people, you put humanity behind other people, because you also don't know them like you know you, right? Like, certain things that you and I do behind what we do, what you do and what I do when there's nobody around is different than what you do when you're with someone, you know? So I feel like that has a big factor too, because like I said, if you have that inner monologue that isn't nice to you, and the fact that there are some things that you may not like to do, like, for example, I don't like when I bite my nails, right? I don't like that I do it, right? I wouldn't bite my nails in front of other people, but I don't like to bite my nails. That's something I really don't like that I do. And sometimes I'm like, ugh. As you can see, this one actually. But sometimes I just like, I'm like, ew, like, I need to stop doing that. Like, that's so gross. It's so grody. But it's like, when you're used to doing something, it's hard. Like I said, old habits died hard. Yep. Old habits die hard. Or it's hard to break old habits. That's what I should have said that. I don't know. And that to me makes more sense. But yeah, I would do. Sometimes I'm just like, ew. Like, I just need to stop doing that because it's gross. But at the same time, it's like, I'm learning it, which that's not as, like, crazy, I guess, as some other people's things. But yeah, it's just you know what you do behind closed doors, and that by default, especially if you don't like it, makes you tend to criticize yourself a lot more than what you really need to, because you know of like whatever you go through. But yeah, anyways, I forgot to add that. Anyways, again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I'm Nola for like the third time. I don't know why I'm doing 3 like this. But yeah, hope you have a great day and peace.